Hey, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. My name is Becca, this is Cosplay.and.books, the channel where I talk about books and then I cosplay from the ones that I like the most. And today, I am introducing my new TBR game. So, I know what you're thinking. Oh, Becca, don't you already have a TBR game where you pick prompts out of a jar and then find books for them? Yes, but so many people do that, and I am one person to be very creative, and I wanted something that sort of fits things that I like to do, or like my hobbies, or just things that I like. So I made a musical theater TBR game, also known as TBR the Musical. So I'm gonna go over the rules a little bit of how it's going to work, and then we're gonna get into all of the books and the stuff. So this is the board basically, and it is just this cool little board, and we start here over at auditions. This is just a nothing spot. It's just a spot you start on, nothing else. Every single one of these little colored spots here is a different musical theater show. So we have like Matilda, we have Wicked, we have Jekyll and Hyde. All of these are shows that either I like or I think are really popular, one of the two. And each of them have a prompt that fits that show. So like Matilda is a middle grade, Wicked is opposites attract, Jekyll and Hyde is a genre blend, and yeah. So that, and basically if I land on one of those, I have to pick a book based on the prompt that it goes with. Now there are, the non-colored spots are some card spots. So this one right here is a cast list. That will pick a purple card, which is a cast list card, and each of them have a character. For example, this one is Mrs. Phelps from Matilda, and it has 3 different prompts on it. So it features a library or books, a cover with 3 or more colors, and or a storyteller character. And I have to pick one of those 3 prompts, not all 3. If I want to do all 3, good for me, I guess, points, but it's not required. It doesn't give me anything extra. But I have to pick one of those prompts and then fit a book to it. And then we have the musical rehearsal, which is this green card, or one of multiple green cards, and every single one has a song on it, and the song, and then the show it's from, and then a prompt that fits the show, or the song lyric. So for example, this one is There's Nothing Wrong with Being the Nicest Girl in Town, which is from Sugar Cloud from the musical Ride the Cyclone, and the prompt is a nice main character. And then the last cards are the audition cards, which are the orange ones, and these are essentially the same as the little like colored spots. It is just a musical and then a prompt that fits that musical. So this is Once Upon a Mattress, and the prompt features royalty. And then the last spot that isn't a colored spot is the callback spot. So the callback spot is sort of a punishment spot, but even though in real life if you get a callback that's good, but we're making it sort of a bad thing. Which basically this means that you have to add another roll onto your existing, so you start with 5 rolls. So if you land on 1 callback space, you have to add to 6, and then you also have to pick one of the audition cards to get a show, and then plus the 6th roll. So that is all of these spaces. If I get to the end, like if I get to this last spot on the final roll, then I get a reward from my reward jar that I never got to use in my TBR jar, and I can either save it for like the next month or use it the month I get it in. If it's not like an exact number, if it like goes over, then I just restart at the beginning and continue on. And then if I didn't finish my TBR the month prior, then I have to add an extra roll. So instead of 5, I do 6. Yeah, I'm not gonna count last month's TBR because I completely failed it. I think I got like 3 books off of it. Whoops. And also because it's a completely new game, I want to start fresh, you know? We're gonna start fresh. So if another one is if I get two things from the same musical, so say I land on Matilda and then I get Mrs. Phelps, it would be like I would have to combine the two prompts. So I would do like one of the prompts from Mrs. Phelps card with a middle grade. This does not apply to 2 character cards, so if I get 2 character cards from the same musical, then it doesn't count because you can't play 2 characters at once. Well, that's a complete lie because I'm playing like multiple characters currently. We're not going to talk about it. You can't play 2 main characters at once because a lot of these are like main characters or side characters or something like that. So those are the rules. And I'm also going to, at the end of the video, after I do all of my rolls, after I do all my rolls, I'm going to do my Trick or Treatathon TBR, which is a little different. It has like all of the books that I'm reading for my actual TBR on it because I'm smart. But without further ado, let's actually get into my TBR. So the first roll, oh, we got a 12. No, hold on, let me re-roll. We got an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pippin, which is circus or acrobat elements. So the first one that I got was a colored square, which was Pippin, and the prompt for that is circus or acrobat elements because the show is very much centered around like circus and acrobat vibes. It's ironic that I got this one because I'm currently in it right now. I'm playing one of the players, which is just like an ensemble member. But anyway, so the book that I put for that was Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Caesar, I think. I don't know if that's how you say it. Caesar, I don't know. But it has a clown, which is obviously something that goes in a circus. But it is about a girl who moves into a tiny town with a weird clown for a mascot, and she is looking for a new start. Basically, the kids of this town are blamed for this factory being shut down because they set fire to it or something. And so basically they are in a sort of a battle between the older people and the teenagers and stuff until a homicidal clown comes and starts killing people. And yeah, it sounds really fun. And I'm trying to read a lot of horror books or mystery thriller stuff like that because it's October. So yeah, that's what most of my TBR is going to be. The next roll is a 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Cast list. Okay. So we have Mrs. Phelps from Matilda, and so it either features a library or books, color with 3 or more colors, or a storyteller character. The next one that I got was Mrs. Phelps, which is a librarian, bookseller, or books featured 3 colors on the cover or a storyteller character. I went with 3 colors on the cover because that's probably the easiest prompt in there. And I chose Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by Shay Earnshaw, I think is how you say it. There are 3 colors, at least. There's her hair, and then some of her dress has blues and reds and greens and stuff, so that definitely counts. Basically this is a sequel almost. This is after Nightmare Before Christmas ends, and I really like Nightmare Before Christmas, so I really want to read this. It's actually shorter than I thought it was going to be. It's only, I want to say 300 pages. Yeah, it's around 300 pages, and it's also the wording is really big. Interesting. I'm very excited though, because I love Sally, so. Okay, third roll. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wicked. So the prompt for Wicked is opposites attract. Next up, I got Wicked, which is opposites attract, and for that I chose Phantom of the Opera. This is actually a musical as well, but it's a book as well. It was originally a book, and then it became a musical, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know this plot completely, but yeah, it sounds fun. And I know that it's a musical, and I know it's like a classic book that a bunch of people like, so I do want to read it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Beetlejuice. Let's go. And Beetlejuice is Paranormal Elements. And next we got Beetlejuice, which is Paranormal Elements. I love Beetlejuice. It is one of my favorite musicals ever. So fun. But the prompt was Paranormal Elements, and I picked Rules for Vanishing by Kate Alice Marshall. This is a book about a girl whose sister got caught in this like ghost road where, so once a year a road appears in the forest, and at the end of it the ghost of Lucy Gallows beckons to travelers to play her game. If you win, you escape with your life, but if you lose, and basically the main character's sister died 1 year ago searching for this ghost, and now she's trying to find her. Yeah, and it's like really cool because it's like, I think it's like found footage almost, or like not found footage, but like there's a lot of like cool, I think someone said it was like it's like the Blair Witch Project, which I think is really cool. And yeah. Okay, and the last roll, hopefully, is a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Legally Blonde. And Legally Blonde's prompt is a powerful female main character. The last one that I got was Legally Blonde, which again, great musical, fantastic musical, love that show. But the prompt is a powerful female main character. I picked to do a reread of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson because Pip is a very powerful female. We love her for that. If you don't know what this is about, you should, but I will explain. It is about our main character Pip, who decides for her senior capstone project that she is going to solve the murder of Andy Bell that took place 5 years prior to when the book takes place. And everyone thinks, assumes that Andy was killed by her boyfriend. So Pip ends up actually teaming up with Andy's boyfriend's brother, Ravi, and they end up trying to find this murderer because she doesn't actually believe that her boyfriend did it. And it's a really good book, and I'm very excited to reread it. Okay, so that is all for my TBR game, but now I'm going to get into my Treatathon TBR. This might take a while because there's 24 books on here. Let's go. Okay, I have 2 stacks of books here. Let's see how fast we can get through these. Okay, so here's my little bingo board that I made. The first prompt, I'm going in order besides the free space because I accidentally put that at the end. We're not going to talk about that. But the first one is prompt 19, which is a book with murder in it. I chose Clown in a Cornfield. I just talked about this one, so I'm not going to go into great detail about it. It has murder. It has a homicidal clown. The next prompt that I have is prompt number 3, which is Cobwebs on the cover or Spider in the title. I'm doing Long Live the Pumpkin Queen, which I already talked about again, but if you can see, it has little cobwebs on the side of her little like throne. So I actually have 2 options for this prompt, which the prompt is number 33, which is a musical character or music powers of some sort. So I have 2 options, which is Phantom of the Opera, because the 2 characters are very musical characters, but I also have Songs from the Deep by Kelly Powell. This is about a girl who is not hunting sirens. So basically sirens are like a big thing in this world, and they're known for like being very murderous. A young boy ends up being found dead on the shoreline. Her and her childhood best friend try to figure out what actually happened because she doesn't believe that the sirens actually killed him and that someone is framing the sirens for this boy's murder. So sirens count as like musical characters and music powers. The next one is prompt 15, which is Sisters or Found Family. I'm going with Rules for Vanishing. which again I just talked about. It has sisters. It's about a girl trying to find her sister who went missing a year ago. The next one is number 4, which is Reread a Favorite While Eating a Fall Snack, which I'm doing A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. Again, just talked about this one, so I'm not going to go into detail, but it is one of my favorites, and I'm rereading it for the second time. This is my second reread. Like, I've read it. This will be my third time reading it, but my second reread. Yes. The next one is prompt 35, which is Food on the Cover. I'm doing Assistant to the Villain, which has little apples up at the top, so I'm counting it. This is about a girl who is basically unable to support, I think it's just her and her sister, but I could be wrong. I think it's just her and her sister, but again, I could be wrong. But it is about a girl who ends up finding this job as the assistant to this villain, and then she ends up sort of falling in love with him, because who wouldn't fall in love with a villain? I would, so it has sprayed edges. Look at that. Anyway, the next one is prompt 6, which is the next book in a series. I'm going with Bad Blood by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the 4th book in the Natural series, which is about this girl who becomes like an FBI agent, but like not really an FBI agent. It's kind of like a school for these like prodigy kids that are really good at something, like the profiling people or lying or stuff like that, that will help in FBI cases. And so they go on these cases, and it's getting very dramatic. So I'm very excited to read this one. The next prompt is prompt number 17, which is a school setting, and I chose Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This is about it's a private school in Vermont. So basically someone gets kidnapped, and the only clue was a mocking riddle listing methods of murder, signed with a frightening pseudonym, Truly Devious. Their disappearance became one of the great unsolved crimes in history. Many years later, true crime aficionado Stevie Bell is set to begin her first year at the academy, and she's determined to solve this cold case. That is, she will solve it when she gets a grip on her demanding new school life and her housemates. Basically, she's trying to find this cold case that happened that no one could solve, and then the murderer actually comes back, and yeah, basically she's trying to find who this murderer is. And it sounds really interesting. It sounds very similar to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, so I'm excited for that because I loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. So the next one is prompt number 27, which is Skull or Bones on the Cover, and I am going to be reading League of Liars by Astrid Schultz, I think is how you say it. I was gonna read this for Adventure-a-thon, but decided I don't have the time to, so I'm gonna read it now. I don't really remember what this is about. I don't know, but it has a skull on the cover. The next one is prompt number 13, which is a wintry setting. I don't actually know if this book is a wintry setting, but I'm going to see. The cover looks very wintry, so I'm gonna count it. But I am doing Local Woman Missing, which is about women missing. No, basically these 3 people go missing, three people go missing, and one of them comes back 11 years later, and basically stuff happens. I don't know what happens, but it sounds interesting. So the next prompt is prompt number 39, which is Death in the Title, and I am doing For Found Dead by Natalie D. Richards. I have confirmed dead counts. They said it in the Discord, so it counts. This is about a theater, like a movie theater that's closing, and then the power goes out and their manager disappears along with the keys to the lobby doors and the theater safe, where the crew's phones are locked each shift. The tension turns to terror when Jo discovers the dead body of one of her coworkers. Now their only chance to escape the murderer in their midst is through the dark, shuttered mall with its boarded up exits, disabled fire alarms. The complex is filled with hiding places for both pursuer and pursued. In order to survive this night, Jo and her friends must trust one another, navigate the sprawling ruins of the mall, and outwit the killer before he kills again. So it sounds very interesting, and I want to read it. So the next one is prompt number 9, which is portal magic. I don't actually know if this counts or not, but I'm going to see because it sounds like it would, which is Alice by Christina Henry. This is like a dark version of Alice in Wonderland. Basically it's like Alice years later, and she's like in an asylum, I think. Yeah. There's a fire at the hospital. It gives the woman a chance to escape. She tumbles out of the hole that imprisoned her, leaving her free to uncover the truth about what happened to her all those years ago. Only something else has escaped with her, something dark, something powerful. And to find the truth, she will have to track this beast to the very heart of the old city where the rabbit waits for his Alice. So, I don't know, it sounds interesting, and I love a good Alice in Wonderland book. So the next one is prompt number 38, which is a common color in the title. I've picked The Silver Eyes by Scott Cawthon and Kira Bread Wisely. This is a very old book that I read back a while ago, and I absolutely love this series. This was like my thing, you know? I loved this book. This is based off of the video game Five Nights at Freddy's, which is one of my favorite games. Anyway, but it follows our main character Charlie, who is the daughter of Henry, who made all of the animatronics that are at Freddy's, and she and her friends go back for this funeral of their childhood friend, and they end up going back to the restaurant and finding all of the secrets that happened all those years ago. I think it's like 12 years ago. But this is a reread, obviously. But I haven't read it in a really long time, so there's probably stuff that I'm not going to notice, or that I hadn't noticed before. Next is prompt number 22, which is a haunted house or forest. I picked Gallant by V.E. Schwab, which is about a girl who comes back to this house, and there's ghost, I think. Yeah. I think there's ghost. But it looks really cool. I was flipping through some of the pages, and there's like these like drawings and stuff, and it's really creepy. Like there's like this, which is really creepy. And I think it's really cool. So I'm excited to read it. I also really like V.E. Schwab's writing. I really loved Addie LaRue when I read that, so I'm hoping that I like this one just as much. Next up is prompt 11, which is a horror, grimdark, or gothic book, which is the one that I had the most prompts or the most books for, because it's like almost every book I wanted to read this month. But I ended up picking The Fear by Natasha Preston, and this is about this sort of like thing that's going around on the internet about people sharing their biggest fears, but then the main character's classmates start dying in the way that they said scared them the most, and she ends up, our main character Izzy she sets out to stop the killer, and she suspects her older sister's friend, and yeah, sounds fun. Next one is prompt number 26, which is witches or features a magic system. I picked Unmasking the Curse. I think this has a magic system. I know like the two main characters are like cursed or something, so I assume that counts as a magic system. I don't really know. We'll see. But I have an ARC of this. This doesn't come out until November 1st, but I have an ARC, so I will be reading it in October, hopefully, if I get to it. We'll see. The next one is prompt number 40, which is set in a country that is not where you live or someone gets kidnapped. I picked The Last Tale of the Flower Bride. I couldn't exactly pinpoint where this was taking place. I don't exactly know where this takes place, but I'm assuming that it doesn't take place in America, which is where I live. So I don't know. If it does, I will not use it because I don't want to cheat. But that is what I'm putting as like my placeholder. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. I don't really remember what this book is about because I don't have it with me. The next one is prompt number 25, which is snakes, bats, black eye, eyeball, or mushrooms on the cover. For that, I picked The Twisted Ones by Scott Cawthon and Care Brad Wisely. This is the second book in the Five Nights at Freddy's trilogy, and he's got a little eyeball there. There's not two, there's one. So, I'm counting it. I don't know. Basically, this picks up a year after the last one, and our main character Charlie is in college, and then more murders start happening, and yeah, she's basically drawn back to try to figure out what happened. And yeah, this was actually my favorite book in the trilogy when I read it. Also, this book has seen better days. We'll say that. The next one is prompt number 7, which is a book with ghost. I am doing Into the Sublime by Kate A. Borman. This is about these 4 girls that go into this cave, and then when they come out, only 3 of them come out, and 1 of them is missing. And I want to say it's about ghost. Yeah, I think it's about ghost. I could be wrong. But basically, when the 3 of them come out, 2 of them are like badly injured, and 1 of them is covered in someone else's blood, and they don't know what happened to the other girl. So, it sounds very interesting, and this cover is really cool. Oh, okay. This cover is really cool. My ring light decided that you were not allowed to see it. Okay, we're on the last page. Let's go. Okay, so the next one is prompt number 20, which is Read a Romance. I picked Valhar Huntsman by Chloe Gong, which comes out tomorrow when I'm filming this. It comes out the 26th, which would be a couple days after you're seeing this, or before you're seeing this. Yes, before you're seeing this. But for me, it comes out tomorrow, which I'm very excited for because I love this book. I love the first one so much. It was so good. And it has a romance between Rosalind and Orion, so we're counting it. The next one is prompt number 32, which is poetry, mixed media, short story collection, comic, manga, or graphic novel. And obviously this is an easy one for me because I read a lot of manga, but I ended up picking Death Note Volume 2, number 2, I don't know. It's the black edition, so it's technically like Volume 4, 5, 6, I don't know. But this is, yeah, I read the first one recently and loved it. I've watched the anime before, but I read the manga for the first time, and it was great. So, yeah, we're reading the second one. Well, if I can find it. We'll see. The next one is prompt number 2, which is Cozy Vibes, and I picked Coraline by Neil Gaiman. I've never actually read this. Fun fact, I've never read it or watched the movie. I'm a bad person, I know. I might watch the movie this month. We'll see. The next one is prompt number 12, which is a middle grade book. I picked Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Elston. This is about a girl whose brother went missing, and she thinks that he is still alive while everyone else thinks he's dead. And then one day he turns up in like her dreams, kind of, and I think he's like part of this like secret society with magic, like these people that have magic and don't want anyone else to know, and she has this magic as well, and so he's like trying to get her to come with him because she has this magic. The next one is prompt number 34, which is a villain point of view. I picked The Fourth Closet by Scott Cawthon. This is the last book in the trilogy, and I'm not going to spoil it too much, but it does have some points where it is the villain point of view. So, and then this is for the free space in the middle of the bingo, or I can fit it into the graphic novel prompt or the manga prompt if I don't end up getting Death Note and then just filling this spot with something else. But that is Fruits Basket Volume 2. I'm currently reading the first one and I actually really like it, so I wanted to grab the second one while I could. So yeah. And that is all my TBR for October, both my new game as well as my Trick or Treat-a-thon TBR. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment down below what your October TBR is, and make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!